Yeah, it's like their whole life is tainted with that because
Yeah.
there's nothing they can do with it. Even the ones that, you know, I don't want to say this, but made a mistake and they won't ever do it again because one never knows about that if it's a seed inside. But sometimes people just do something stupid.
Or if they were on drugs or whatever.
Yeah, whatever,
I
yes.
don't, yes.
And it like stays with them. But yeah, it's a very tricky fine line.
Yeah.
But how...
shame is it's an evolutionary strategy for keeping people operating in a very socially acceptable way. You know, that's
Yes.
what shame is. And it's locked in our DNA. Just as sexuality is, just as everything. It's a way of keeping people, keeping society strong so that our offspring grow up safer.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a very powerful shaping force.
What advice would you have after experiencing that and writing about that for anyone out there that has shame on any level? I've worked with a couple of people years ago when I used to work with teens, and so many of them said their life is ruined because of shame of something they did when they were 10, 11,
kills.
12.
Oh, shame kills.
Yeah, and a lot of them want to be actors and they said, I can't because of the, you know, something. So what would you...
Well, I can't, that's such a huge question in regards to pedophilia. I can't really talk about it because I'm not, I don't understand enough.
No, but
about
not about that, about anything.
But shame
in general. Yeah, not that. Just basic shame of they did something silly as a kid. They beat somebody up that was a best friend's kid, or they by accidentally shot someone because they pulled a gun out and it was an accident, but it hurt them, or they...
Right. Well,
how...
I suppose, just because you're asking me, this is my first thought, it's not a considered opinion, but I suppose to express, and I talk to myself, that shame is a shaping mechanism. It's in us and it's in society.
Yes.
And, well, shame actually is supposed to be what other people put on you, and guilt is what we put on ourselves. But regarding shame, let it shape things but not control you, probably. You know, that acknowledge what the shame is trying to tell you. Don't do that again because that hurt you and hurt others. Mm-hmm. And move the hell on.
Yeah, I think so
move
too.
Forward through life.
You just have to move forward.
Yeah.
Forgive yourself.
And regarding what other people are saying about you,
let
like
it
my
go.
mother said, they're worrying about their own shame, for God's sake. They're really not thinking about you.
Yes. Yeah, get on with it if it was something that happened and it was just, it happened. It wasn't, something super heavy.
Probably the rest of the world does not see the mark of Cain on you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. As much as you do.
Yeah.
What do you think the turning point...
Don't do it again.
Right. Exactly. It will. Yes.
Don't do it again because it hurt you then.
Yes.
Maybe it hurt other people. Just don't do it again. That's what the shame is telling you.
And I think it helps one not do another silly mistake.
Right.
Just in the moment of, oh, I'm doing drugs or I'm drinking, so they do an action. It might make them go, okay, after one drink, I turn into a different person. I'm not going to go there. I think that's good. What do you think was the turning point in your life? Like a
big few, don't you?
Yeah, usually what's 3, but like
well,
your first one.
One would be that being an 8-year-old kid at Snow White when the fluorescent lights came on and the paint.
Yes.
That shaped me, made me go, I have to be there. That's where magic happens on a stage. Another one was when I was going to university in another town from where I grew up, and I crossed the road about 8 times. Should I go back to the university or should I go home to Auckland and become an actress? Should I go back to university? I crossed the road 8 times and eventually I went home to Auckland to become an actress. There was having my baby and getting pregnant at 19.
So you got married at 19 and had a baby.
Had a baby. I just turned 20 when I had my daughter. So,
what was that like? Were you excited about it, or were you going, oh,
well,
no?
I was very in love with her father. No. I never felt, oh no. I think other people did, my family. My father was so upset he couldn't even talk to me. That was very stressful. But, and I was living in the outback of Australia at the time, working for a mining company. So we went home and had the baby. My father was delighted that I had the baby because he was like super Catholic, And what? Yeah, everybody thought my life and my dreams of being an actress were over, but I didn't think that. In fact, 5 days after having her, I put on this black leotard and tights, with reinforcement that came down lower than the leotard, just ridiculous. And because I was big, I just had a baby, I was wearing high top white basketball boots, and I looked ridiculous. And I did this crazy comedy act in a leotard within a few days of having given birth. And
I love
and it
that.
actually, I know, and I did a Shakespeare thing. I did a show reel.
Yeah.
And I wrote all this material, and 5 days later I filmed it. And that began my career in New Zealand.